My husband would say, hey, are you going to make dinner for the kids? I would hear, have you even planned anything? Like, are you like totally going to like forget about feeding the kids again? His words would actually go through a filter and be changed. I mean, it's demonic, really. Fear is so demonic. And it would change. I'd be like, well, I mean, yes, I was going to. And now I feel like a bad mom, right? So if I would hear these things like that, I said, now this is what's crazy. For 2 weeks is all it took. And I told my husband, I'm going to sound weird, but every time I hear accusation that I'm a terrible mom, I'm going to say I'm a really good mom. So at those random times, I'd be like, I'm a really good mom. 2 weeks, and it completely left.
Thank you, Gia.
I have never once since that point thought that I wasn't the mom that my kids needed. Now, I've made a ton of mistakes. I've apologized a lot. I've learned so much I would do different. But in all of that, I don't feel the shame of failing them that was going to bury me before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, this is something that you have to be careful in a relationship, and especially in a marriage, because you'll be hearing things that ain't got nothing to do with your spouse. They don't even be on the verge of thinking that. They just be asking a question. Well, I know you and I know what you... No, you don't, because I was just asking, hey, are you going to cook dinner? And I'm asking because I want to know so I can know what to do. Hey, are you going to cook for the kids tonight? Not for me, for the kids. Yeah, I'm whoop a little something up. Okay, so that lets me know I don't need to go get anything, or I don't need to make anything. No, I wasn't planning on that. It's just, I'm tired. This is okay. Well, let me go in there and do something. But if you're always thinking somebody's trying to attack you, then you'll get the response that she had. So you got to be careful.
Ain't no girl solid.
That's not sure.
You cheated on a nigga before?
Hell yeah, and I do it again.
Solid. You cheated on a nigga before? You're not solid. You cheated on a nigga?
Maybe.
You never cheated on a
Queen.
nigga? How many boyfriends you had?
Period.
You're not solid. How many you saw you love them to? At least 3, 4.
At least, yeah.
Why are you loving that many niggas?
Hi, I want to address something to the men. This is only for the men. I know your secret. I know your guys' secret. I know that you guys want someone to come home to and spend quality time and get hugs and cuddles and smooches, and you want someone to make you a sandwich and support you in your dreams and your careers. I know you guys all want that, and I see that, and you guys haven't had that for a very long time. And that breaks my heart because I, as an empath or as an intuitive person, and when I see those comments, I know that some of you guys haven't had that in a very long time.
Women, listen to me.
They don't do that. Is this your first time talking to women?
If your girl wanted to go to the club, how are you responding?
Have fun.
Bro, you're a simp.
Get the fuck out, because I respect freedom and...
Nah, it's not about freedom.
So you were like, hey, me and the girls are going to go to the club? Go do your like, have fun. Yeah, were you letting foods pour shots in your mouth? That's crazy, because I don't want nobody around going around being like, hey, that's doing over here getting drunk. And
if I saw pictures of my man's out and the girl was like pouring a drink in his mouth, that was not my man no more.
But
that is not my man.
I'm just saying. She said no.
But if it's just her and her girls generally
like drink water, bro.
No. But I'm saying, like, if you and your girls like go to the club and just want to have fun, do yeah.
But bro, coming from a girl, I'm telling you right now, it's never just girls' time if they're going out to the club.
That's my point. She's going to a club. Very likely, if all the girls in that group have boyfriends, they're not going to a club. They're going to a club. One girl, your girl, is going to a club with 3 other girls who are single, and they're out there trying to get chosen by some dude, because that's what people go to clubs. The whole point is like, why you're my girl, you want to be in a club in that environment.
And he's actually thinking, that guy that says have fun, he's thinking like a lot of men think when they first get into a relationship. Oh yeah, go have fun. Because that's what I would be doing. I wouldn't be going to the club and doing anything stupid. So yeah, man, I mean, you need a night out. If that's where you guys want to go dance and knock down a couple drinks, but come home when you need to come home and just basically be responsible, because you're an adult. Most men do not want to control their women. They don't want to do it. But because we know how modern women act, then we say, well, maybe you shouldn't even be over there. Because when you get around those types of people, you start acting crazy. And then that's when everything goes off the rails, because now a man is controlling, he's insecure, and all of that nonsense. When really you're not disciplined and your judgment is terrible.
You want to know why men don't talk about their feelings? Because when a man tells a woman how he feels, then the woman's going to react with some way about how she feels, about him telling her how he feels. And then he's going to end up having to console her for how she feels, for him telling her how he feels, when in reality, he just wanted to feel understood. And now he has to take care of her feeling, not get any consideration or understanding for him trying to explain to her how he felt. Am I right or am I right?
A society of nothing but women, and there are no men in it, will collapse faster than the Roman Empire, because we'll kill each other. Every decade, women manage to find some type of differentiator to create an us versus them culture war or beef within each other. I've seen this every decade. I'm 44 years old, right? So 2020s, it's the childless women versus mothers. In the 2000s, it was working mothers versus stay-at-home mothers. That shit was ugly and it was really nasty. Then in the 2010s, this beef kind of came and went because it was stupid. It was mothers who gave birth without an epidural versus mothers who chose an epidural. Then I remember seeing this one post on Facebook that went super viral. It was, "You're not a real mother if you had your baby via C-section." Is you cool? How is you okay? So that beef didn't last as long. Then it turned into single women versus married women. At the time, I was in the Army. So that had like a little subculture beef where it was women who were in the Army versus Army wives. Oh my God. I can only speak for myself. Let me know if you agree to this. This shit used to grind my gears when I would hear women talking about the hardest profession in the Army is an Army spouse. Okay, I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. And so now fast forward to the 2020s, you have women who choose not to have children versus women who do have children. I've always thought that shit was weird. Like, what are you overcompensating for? See, I'm childless and I'm free. Okay, what are you overcompensating for? Because women who opt out of having children, they've been around for millennia. That's nothing new. Like, I know a ton of women who do not make that their entire personality and identity. And I always kind of look at them with serious side eye. Like, you understand children grow up, right? Like, I don't know if you're trying to rage bait and gaslight women who chose to have children, but that doesn't make you better than them. And then when you kind of peel it back and you dig a little bit deeper, you realize that they're projecting their insecurities because they're lonely. And so they utilize this technique called negging. Because when you make being child-free an entire identity and personality, that's an indicator to me you're overcompensating for something that you're falling short on.
I better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of this. Oh my God. Touch a buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
She's so mad. Okay, why is she mad? Well, because she got all dolled up. See that tight fitted orange dress, right? Did her hair, went to the nail salon, got a special little mani-pedi, maybe did a little waxing because she thought she was going to get funky that night, right? And she went out and no one is giving her any time. Attractive girl. So she's like, what is going on? She goes home, she looks in the mirror. She's like, making sure. She's like, no, I look good, right? Asks her friends, like, is this look? Oh yeah, you look amazing, which they'll say even if she doesn't look amazing. But honey, any guy would be just so lucky to have you. I know, right? And like, her and all her friends are just like, why? I told you, guys are tired. Guys are tired of you. They're tired of you pretending to want to take them seriously when you really just want the free drinks. They're tired of going up to you and you being like, thanks for the drink, doing this game you do. Tired. They're tired of the takers. They're tired. They don't want to deal with any of that. They're tired of, you meet all of these qualifications, right? You got all the qualifications and she's talking to you and she's like, oh, but, there's this one thing. He has a boat and it's red and I don't don't like the color red. Oh, right? Because they feel like they can be so picky that they've got everything met, but they can just nitpick about everything, right? They're tired of you. You want guys to come up to you, change your attitude, change your strategy, treat them differently, and that's going to have to happen over a long period of time, right? It took decades to get here. Guys finally saying, I am done with you. And social media played a big part because now they go on socials and they see women talking all their crap. So they're like, oh, I know what's going on now behind the scenes. When I walk away after buying you that drink, I know you're making a fool out of me. They're like, I'm done. You're going to make a fool out of me? Honey, now I'm going to make a fool out of you. I'm going to sit at that bar. I'm going to drink my scotch. I'm not buying you nothing. I'm not even looking your way. That's what's going on. Change your attitude. It's going to take a long time for guys to feel like you've changed genuinely, and then you'll see.
Am I the asshole for divorcing my husband because he works too much? Probably. Though I am going to preface that a lot of people word these to make it sound like they're like going to be the asshole and then something happens and they're not the asshole. So I, 34 female, recently filed for divorce from my husband, 36 male, of 12 years. And now I'm getting a lot of heat from both of our families. We have 2 kids together, Emma and Noah. When we first got married, things were different. Rob worked normal hours at a factory and we had plenty of time together. We would cook dinner together, go on trips, and genuinely enjoyed each other's company. But about 5 years ago, the factory closed down, and after months of searching, he finally landed a job at a construction company working as a foreman. Since then, our marriage has essentially died. He works 80 hours a week, part-time job, including weekends. He's usually out of the door by 5 a.m. and doesn't get home until 9 or 10 p.m. on most nights. He takes every overtime shift available and never turns down extra work. When he is home, he is either passed out on the couch or completely exhausted. We haven't had a real conversation in years that wasn't about logistics or the kids. Whew. I'm going to get a lot of... I'm just going to read the story. The part that really gets under my skin is that he somehow manages to find energy for the kids. Those precious few hours he's home on the weekends, he's completely present for them, but for me, nothing. It's like I don't exist anymore except as a co-manager of our household. When you have kids, the relationship does essentially become a notch down on what's like most important in life. Your kids, once you give life to somebody else, they are the most important things and should be your focus. I'm not saying neglect the relationship, but the man is working a lot of hours, and then you gotta be a dad. I don't know how to even comment. I'm just gonna keep reading. I've been a stay-at-home mom since Emma was born. That was our agreement when we got married. He would provide, and I would raise the children. He's providing. I spend all day cooking, cleaning, driving the kids to activities, helping with homework, basically doing everything in all caps. While he gets to be the fun parent who swoops in for the good parts, except for the part where he's working 80 hours a week. It makes my blood boil watching him come home and get all the excitement and hugs while I'm the one who's been there all day dealing with tantrums and sibling fights. The kids light up when he walks through the door like he's some kind of superhero. That's because he works 80 hours a week and they do not get to see him. They get to see you all the time. Not saying being a stay-at-home mom is easy. Listen, I've spent time with my kids. But they're really excited because they don't see him as much. I've tried telling him to find a better job that doesn't require so many hours. There are plenty of men his age making 6 figures, working normal 40-hour weeks. Where? Wait, Google? I'm just going to go get a job at Google. Yeah, I'm just going to, you know what? I am a banker now. I'm just, what? My friend Janet's husband works in tech and is home by 5 p.m. every day, and they just bought a vacation home. When I bring this up, Rob always responds with the same joke. If you can find a better job that pays and I only work 40 hours, I'll happily go. And then he laughs like it's the funniest thing in the world. Cause it is. Like, what job does that? Like, that is in the 1% of jobs that you can make 6 figures and not work a lot. I want to say less than 1%. I have told him repeatedly that he needs to apply himself more, network with the right people, or get some certification. So you're telling him to work harder? Like, I don't know. You're saying don't work harder, but work harder. You get what I'm saying? Something to move up in the world, but he seems perfectly content to keep just grinding away at this job that's killing our marriage. It's like he doesn't even care about providing a better lifestyle for us. Last month, he missed our anniversary dinner, which we had planned for months because of some emergency came up at the job site. Okay, that is his fault. When he came home around midnight, I told him I couldn't do this anymore. He looked genuinely shocked, like he couldn't understand why I was upset. That is because he's working 80 hours a day at a place that he probably doesn't want to be. And when he's picking up these extra shifts and extra hours, it's to keep the household afloat because the economy sucks, man. Everything's expensive. Eggs are expensive. Gas are expensive. Rent's expensive. Mortgage is expensive. Everything's expensive. Everything is expensive. He's working tirelessly. I moved out last week and filed the papers. Now his parents are calling me selfish, saying I broke up our family because I'm not getting enough attention. I wouldn't put that in quotation marks because that's what it sounds like it is. My own mother suggested I'm having a midlife crisis and should think of the children. Okay, mom. Mom stepping in and was like, hey, I think you're being I didn't say you were. I was saying, I was insinuating that your mom was, don't get in the comments and be like, oh, Michael's calling women. I would never, ever call it. Rob keeps texting me saying that he'll try harder, but hasn't actually proposed any concrete changes like finding a better job. The only one who seems to understand is my sister, who pointed out that I deserve a husband who can properly provide for my family without disappearing for 80 hours a week. Disappearing is like when someone vanishes and you don't know where they are. If you can drive to a construction site and find them, that's not disappearing. Also, your sister sounds like a... She also thinks I might be jealous of the relationship Rob has with his kids, which maybe I am a little, but that's not the main issue. That is almost the main issue. That is, if I was like, damn, man, my wife really likes those kids, I would probably take a step back and be like, I'm crazy. So, am I the asshole for ending a marriage because my husband isn't providing the lifestyle I want while still being present in our relationship? You know what? Rewind it. I'm gonna change this. Okay. Am I the asshole for ending a marriage because my husband provides for our family while still being a great father? And to which I'm gonna say, not only are you being an asshole, but kind of being a.
Y'all, wait. I didn't know that this was a thing. You really think that like buying a girl food is tricking? I thought y'all was playing when y'all would say that type of, but it's evident that y'all really don't be playing. Me and a homegirl is sitting in a car. She get a call from one of her, and he like, oh, like, what time, like, we supposed to be linking up? And she was like, oh, like, I just finished getting dressed. Like, where did you want to meet at? And he was like, oh, just meet me at my crib. Like, just pull up to my crib. So I'm sitting there, and she like mutes it, and I was like, his crib? And we both just look at each other real stank, and I'm like, you know this like that? Like you said, or this just like one of your type shit? She's like, this is just one of my, like, we haven't even really linked like that. Like, we talk on the phone a little bit, but this is my first time linking with him. He from out of town. So I'm like, he from out of town here to visit type shit, or he from out of town and moved out here type? She was like, he from out of town and moved out here type. I'm like, okay, well, why would he think that on y'all first time linking that you was gonna pull up to his crib? Like, huh? So she unmuted and she was like, oh no, like, I don't, you know, I'm not gonna pull up to your house, but like, you know, I'll meet you at like a restaurant or whatever, like we can go out to eat. And then he just was like, oh, okay, you one of them. So she's like, what do you mean, like one of what? And he was like, you one of them type of shawties. Huh? Yeah, I like to eat. What do you mean? Like, huh? So she's like, what do you, like, I don't understand what you mean. And he was like, nah, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna just hit you another time. So she's like, what's the problem? Like, did I say something wrong? And he was like, nah, like, it's just that I don't know why you always, you. So now I'm sitting up, like, what do you mean? You. He like, I don't understand why you always think that I is inclined to take y'all out to eat and spend money on y'all the first time that they link with y'all. Like, I don't even know you like that. And you already trying to be all up in my pockets and in my wallet. Like, what the, you think I'm a trick? Huh? I said, hang up. So she was just like, what? Like, and she the type of friend, she like to go back and forth. You know, she like to argue. Me, he would have already been click, block, gone, release him. But she like to go back and forth. So she was like, nigga, what the are you talking about tricking? Like, what the, like, when is, like, since when is taking it out to eat, like, tricking? And who do you calling it, like? And he was like, you just said, like, you just referred to yourself as. And she was like, okay, but it's different when I say it. The fuck? And second of all, you clearly ain't got it like that, because since when did buying a woman food become tricking? And I'm sitting here, I'm already disgusted by the whole discourse. The whole conversation is sending me, because first off, what the do you mean, oh, you one of them? I'm still stuck on that. You one of them. I'm actually still stuck on pull up to my crib. Because who? I'm not pulling up nowhere, and neither is my friend. What the? So for you to even ask her that, I was literally baffled. Like, and so they going at it, arguing back and forth. I'm like, girl, hang up on him. So she ended up hanging up, and she was like, that's just crazy. Like, and I'm just really sitting here like, what's wrong with, like, it's really out there like that? Like, y'all really think that, like, buying a woman food is tricky? There's no way. Like, what? And it's crazy because it's like, y'all will like a woman or want to pursue her, but y'all don't think that she's worthy of a meal? Like, she's not worthy of a meal, but she can come over your house and know where you stay at, and know where you lay your head at, and know where you got all your valuables at. You're not worried about that. You more concerned about spending money on a woman, making sure that she eats and has a good time, treating her to a good time, having good conversation and vibing with her and actually getting to know her. You more worried about that than her coming into your place of peace at your home, knowing where you lay at and where you stay at. You rather her do that. Like, it just don't make no sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
Of course, men are not making angry responses to my video calling them losers, because men get called losers on this app every single day. And that's part of the reason why men are typically better at taking accountability than women. You know why? We tell men the truth. Men tell other men the truth. They will tell their friend, hey, you're fat. Hey, you're not good looking. Hey, you're not smart, and mean it. And you know what happens with those men? Oftentimes, they work on it and actually get better. However, let's take a look at us, ladies, because we do not tell each other the truth about almost anything. You will let your girlfriend go out there raggedy, and you'll be in her comments, yes, slay, boss, queen, you look like a 10 out of 10. You're lying and you know it. And on top of that, we'll put on silly little names like, oh, she's just a girl. I'm just a girl. You ran up your credit card to 20K. That's not just a girl. You caused an accident that almost killed somebody. You're not just a girl. You're sleeping around with way too many men for you to keep track of, and cheating on your spouse. You're not just a girl. You're a terrible human being. And I'm tired of women allowing other women to be terrible human beings. On my side of TikTok, I will call out the men who are terrible and the women who are terrible, because there's terrible people everywhere. And we have to get away from this idea that it's just the men. It has never been, it will never be just the men. To any of the girlies that were super triggered by my video, this is how men feel on the internet every day. Congratulations. Welcome to equality.
You get laughed at. You're a joke. And they dare you to do anything about it. Hey, we got 4 or 5 of us. If you don't like it, do something about it. And I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Because I want to live to see another day. For modern women, they let you off the hook a lot of times. Even when a man is telling you the truth, he's trying to figure out a way to tell you in the easiest way possible so your feelings don't get hurt. But now, with a lot of modern women, men have just started saying, just get out of my face. I don't like you. You don't like me. We're not friends. We're never going to be friends, probably. I don't need you as a friend. You're my enemy. Get out the way.
You know what's a double standard I can't stand is that these bitter ass baby moms will come online and talk about their baby daddies, but you know how hard it is for some of these baby daddies to keep their mouth shut about how terrible their bitter ass baby moms are to their kids. Like, keeping it from your kid how bad the other parent is actually one of the hardest things to do. Instead of being like, yeah, your mom sucks and, you know, she's trying to keep you from me and she's brainwashing you, these dads have to stay silent. Not only do they stay silent, but if they start more conflict or any kind of conflict with the bitter ass baby mom, she's just going to alienate the children further. So a lot of y'all are like, oh, the dad didn't fight. But 1, why does he have to fight in the first place? But 2, you think he's trying to make the situation worse for his kids? He goes through every single day having to fight between defending himself and like feeling like a whole ass man and getting his kids back versus fighting with his baby mom every single day and making the situation worse. And the worst part about it is that these bitter ass baby moms will justify how they're treating their baby daddies. oh, well, he didn't call the kids enough, so that means he doesn't love them. And then she's making all these side comments to her kids. Meanwhile, it's the dad who hasn't said about the mom. The kids find out when they're 17, 18, 19 years old, like, oh, my mom was actually the problem. And that's why I have so many problems throughout my growing up and my upbringing, because my mom was actually the piece of, and painted my dad as this horrible human being, because she wasn't about keeping the peace. She wasn't about, loving me more than she hated my dad. But y'all never want to have those kind of conversations because you want to make it about like how he's so and how terrible he is. But the only reason he's so terrible is because you can't get over him and you want to paint him out to be someone that he's not, because you can't understand how your own kids love their dad. You don't want your kids to love their dad more than you because that makes you feel bad. So you want to paint him as like a horrible human being, and the whole time he's kept his mouth shut about you. Okay, bye.
It is crazy there is no more men left, like not one single man. And what's crazy to me is that there's literally thousands of men literally complaining that there is no more traditional women, or like saying like, I want a traditional girl, but they are not traditional men. Like, I went on a date 2 days ago. Let me tell you guys the worst date of my life. I went on a date 2 days ago. We found a place. We went to dinner. First of all, he doesn't have a car. And he asked me if I have a car. I was like, yeah, sure, I have a car. I'll pick you up from work. And I picked him up and we drove there. And, I drive an Audi TTRS. This man was like, oh, how do you have this really nice car? Do you do OF? Like that. I was like, no, I don't. Like, and he laughed it off, but I was like, why is that the first thing you assumed? Whatever. Then we got to the restaurant, and the first thing he asked me was like, not like, how are you feeling? How was your day? Nothing. It was like, so what do you do for a living? He asked me in a matter of like 10 minutes, what I do for a living, what is my income, do I have any education, do I have a place to live? And he questioned me about like my car. I shared that with him because it was just awkward not to. And what I got from him is that he has no education, he makes minimum wage, he doesn't have a car, and he has like 3 roommates, and he's older than me. And, during this whole conversation of like getting to know each other, he was sort of trying to like make these little comments to put me down. Like he was talking about my hair, he was talking about my skin, he was talking about my weight, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what? Like, this is like just weird vibes. And then whatever, fast forward, the date ends, and then like the waitress comes, and she's like, oh, well, do you guys like to be paying cash or card? And like he's just looking at me, like literally staring at me, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, so I ended up just like, it was so weird, so awkward that I ended up paying. And then I was just like, I dropped him off to his house, and then I went home, and like I was like, oh, like the worst date ever. And then literally a few hours ago, he texts me and he's like, oh, so when are we going out on our second date? Like, what the heck? First of all, does he want a girlfriend, or does he want a mom? Does he want somebody to provide for him, drive him around, pay for the dates? Like, where are the men? Where are the men? And it's not just this situation. It's like a lot of men nowadays, before, like, they are saying like, your women are such gold diggers. You have to watch out for gold diggers. You don't even have any gold to dig. Like, where's the gold?
So you got men in the comments saying it's funny when the roles are reversed. Somebody said King got a free bill exactly how it should be. There was a woman, or there was a dude in comments that said it's a hard lesson to learn. And somebody responded to him and said, yeah, it probably is. But sometimes it also shows them I would rather be with the same than the opposite. Just saying. Men like this be having women switching teams. No, they don't. No, they don't. She's going to run into another man like that. She's going to run into another man like that. I guarantee she probably went out with him because he was really good looking. and she overlooked a lot of things because he was really good looking. She's probably going to call him ugly now because of the things that he did. And to be honest, the way she's describing him, it sounds like he's a bum. But before you knew any of that about him, he was good looking. He's a good looking guy. So, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but this is what we talk about when we say accountability. At some point in time, if you keep on running into men like this to where you say, hey, maybe I ought to step back. If y'all are telling men, hey, men, y'all need to be better men, and these women will act right, maybe we can give you direction and say, okay, maybe you need to start picking better. Maybe you ought to start choosing better. Would that be a fair exchange or no?
I'll give you some free legal advice. If you ever have a child support obligation against you, which I hope you never do, and you have to pay it and you don't have the money to pay it, like if you're supposed to give her $2,000 a month and you don't have $2,000, don't give her $1,000. Give her $1,226.37. Because then when we get in front of the judge, we can say, Judge, I had $1,000. I borrowed $200 from my cousin. I found $32 under the mats of my car. This is everything I have.
Many years from now, there is going to be a quiet crisis, loneliness in women especially. Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't. Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence. Meanwhile, your grandmothers had way fewer choices, but way stronger direction. They built families, they built the roots, they built something bigger than themselves. And this generation swapped it all for convenience. Legacy for pleasure, meaning for freedom without structure. And here's the part that nobody likes to talk about. The men that they overlooked in their 20s, they didn't just vanish. They were building, failing, learning, becoming disciplined, and becoming men. Men don't peak early. They compound with time. Value grows with time and skill and responsibility. Women don't gain leverage by delaying everything. That is not cruelty. That is reality. Every decision comes with a cost. Modern narratives today did not remove the bill. They just postponed it. And the outcome is usually the same. Distractions instead of connection. Comfort instead of intimacy, and independence without fulfillment. This is not about going backward. It's about correcting the course. We don't need less ambition. We need stronger values, commitment, family, masculine leadership, feminine devotion, and a shared purpose, because freedom without foundation doesn't liberate. It isolates you completely. And tradition wasn't the problem. Abandoning it was.
Treat your husband like you do your manager. Your manager told you what time to be at work, 8 a.m. And you said, okay. Your husband told you what time he wanted to leave. Oh, man. And you frustrate him by making you late. Now, if you're late to work, they recognize that's a bad habit, so they fire you. You're late for your husband, you don't think it's a bad habit, you just think he's supposed to wait on you. Oh yeah, I might need to transfer to a bear. I might have to borrow your gym shoes. We might have to switch. Ladies, I'm so mad at the Lord right now, and I don't never get mad at the Lord. Ladies, we live in a society where men are redefining things. For example, I have an assistant pastor. In the eyes of men, the assistant pastor is lower. In the eyes of God, the assistant pastor is equal. That's his role. When we stand before God, if he was a better assistant pastor than I was a pastor, he will get a greater reward than me. Are y'all following me?
So in the comment said, I had a realization today. If I had a manager who was as indecisive and communicated at the level my husband sometimes does with me, and spoke to me the way he does, I would have quit years ago. If I were treated with even the same basic clarity and respect he gives a client, or that a good manager gives their employees, my heart would feel so much lighter. Something as simple as knowing what time we need to leave would help me plan my get ready routine and show up the way he expects. Instead, I'm left guessing, and then that guess is used against me when I unknowingly make us late. That really hurts. Ma'am, that man told you when y'all was gonna leave. Maybe he didn't tell you indirectly, but he said, I've got an event. We have got an event at 7. You can use your brain. This is weaponized incompetence. A lot of modern women do this. You can use your brain to say, you know what? If we're both going to the event and he just said the event started at 7, I need to be ready to go. Let's say we're 30 minutes away. At the very latest, I need to be ready to go at 6:30, not 6:40, not 6:39. I need to be ready to go at 6:30. Accountability. Accountability. Y'all know y'all managers don't be treating y'all like that. Go do your job and get out of my face. Y'all gotta stop.
I need to say something that might be unpopular, but men aren't the enemy. Women's egos are. And before you come at me in the comments because I'm challenging your beliefs, hear me out. Because I know your relationships are suffering because of this. And if you're single, bitter, or convinced all men are the problem, this is definitely for you, babe. Listen, I know this sounds harsh, but I think our egos are creating more relationship problems than the actual men in our lives. And here's the part nobody wants to talk about. Like, we're out here getting upset and mad when our partner stops communicating with us, but maybe they've stopped communicating because every time they try, they get attacked. Just a thought. Or every time they try to share their perspective or offer feedback, our ego gets bruised and we immediately go into defense mode instead of actually listening. And trust me, there's something so powerful about learning to just be quiet and listen without needing to react all the time. Our egos tell us we're always right, that we don't need to apologize, that admitting we're wrong makes us weak. Our egos also make us defensive when our partner tries to communicate with us or give us feedback. Like, we'd rather be right than be happy. We'd rather win the argument than preserve the relationship. We've been programmed to think that needing our partner or showing vulnerability is somehow beneath us, and that submission or compromise in a relationship means we're losing ourselves, but that's our ego talking. Our egos tell us that if a man corrects us or disagrees with us, he's being controlling, and I know how much we like to play that card. Like, maybe he's just being honest. I had to learn to check my ego when my partner would point out things I needed to work on, and my first instinct was to get defensive, but that was just my ego protecting itself. And the crazy thing is, some of y'all pray to God to send you a man who can lead you, and then get mad when he actually does. And the thing about the ego is the ego wants to be worshipped and never challenged. But healthy relationships require both people to grow, and growth requires feedback. And we need to be honest, we blame men for not communicating, not taking the lead, not doing enough, but when they do try, we shut down or attack them for it. Like, make it make sense. Your ego wants to protect you, but it's actually sabotaging your relationships. Learning to humble yourself is the key to real connection. The right man isn't your enemy, he's your mirror. Don't let your ego destroy what could be beautiful.
Let's talk about the wounded male feminine and why he loves too much, he loves too fast, and he always ends up drained. Let's talk about that. The wounded male feminine is the man who gives everything, but receives nothing. He loves deeply, but he ends up drained and confused and heartbroken. Not because he's weak, it's because he's unprotected. What is the wounded male feminine actually? This is a man who feels everything. He's intuitive and empathetic and aware, but instead of using his sensitivity as power, he uses it as currency. He trades his heart for closeness. He trades his boundaries for belonging, and he will give his energy for validation. He's like the safe space guy. He's the I'm always here for you guy. He's the I'll carry your emotions guy. but inside he's collapsing. So where does this come from? Wounded male feminine energy usually comes from a couple of places. Being raised by emotionally unavailable mothers, being punished for having needs, being praised for being easy, being told to be strong but never taught how, taking on adult roles as a child, and possibly being the peacemaker in the household, okay? It's like he wasn't allowed to express his feelings, but he had to absorb everyone else's. Does this resonate with anybody? So basically, love equals overgiving, love equals rescuing, and love equals enduring. So what's he like in relationships? This man loves fast. This man loves deep. He romanticizes easily, and he gives more than he should, sooner than he should. He's the healer, the empath, the emotional sponge, the caretaker, but he never gets chosen with the same intensity that he provides. Why? Because wounded feminine energy in a man reads as, I'll take whatever love you offer. And women will subconsciously treat him like that. Side note, this was me. Big, deep love, intense, giving, giving, giving. Love equals care. Love equals enduring and dealing with it. Bro. So there's a dark pattern to this. A wounded male feminine attracts a few types of people. Emotionally chaotic women, women who want to be mothered, women who will drain him, women who will collapse into him, women who want his empathy but not his heart. And therefore, he becomes the emotional crutch. He's the, oh, you're such a good guy, but not the partner, okay? And maybe if you're a wounded male feminine, you say things like, oh, I just love too hard. Do you say that? No, you don't love too hard. You love without boundaries. So what's the turning point? How can we make this better? The wounded male feminine will heal when he realizes these things. I am not responsible for everyone's emotions. I don't need to earn love. I don't need to be useful to be worthy. I am allowed to receive without performing. I deserve a woman who meets me, not trains me. When he sets boundaries, baby, the intuition becomes sharper. He protects his energy, and that empathy becomes a weapon. When he stops rescuing, he becomes attractive. Weird, huh? This is the moment when he can stop collapsing into women and start evolving with them. I hope that helped. Okay, go.
I want to know why some men think that if they're not a provider, they're not a man. Or that if because they can't provide right now, they're not deserving of a relationship. I swear I've never seen love like that. To me, love has always been like teamwork, support, growing together, like that real ride or die shit. Through thick and thin. Like when I think of a relationship, I think partnership. I think side by side. My mindset has always been, I'll love you at your best and I'll love you at your worst. Like, why does money matter so much when y'all truly love each other? Y'all never been accepted with your imperfections? Some men really think to themselves, I can't let you see me when I'm not perfect. But they won't think to themselves, nah, let's build something together. Like some of y'all really believe that you gotta be built before you build with somebody. And life ain't like that. Money don't define the relationship, effort does. Presence does. Love does. So I really wanna know, if a man cannot financially lead, does he believe he is not worthy of love? I think that if a man thinks this, he's not looking for love. He's looking to impress somebody. How is that healthy? How is that mature? Not being where you want to be financially doesn't make you a failure. It does not make you less of a man. And if he really loves you, money is the least of her problems. She don't give what you got. That love you for you. For what she feels when she's with you. Not what you could give to her. Most of us aren't where we want to be. That doesn't make any of us less worthy. A lot of y'all gotta stop thinking that partnership means providing financially. Because when you're in a relationship, that's your teammate. You grow together, you build together, and you get through the storms together. Like, be real. Do you really believe that couples who last a lifetime met each other at their peak? Because I believe they became their best selves together through every storm. They chose to build together. They chose every season, the good and the bad. And I just feel like one day I might not be at my best, but Mike could be doing great, you know? And he's going to be there for me. And one day my nigga's not going to be doing great, and I'm going to be doing great, and I'm going to be there for him. Why y'all don't think like that? Y'all really need to get it together, because when somebody truly loves you, they don't care where you're at. It's the little, you know, that care about all that dumb. But your wife, your woman, a grown-ass woman, she don't care about that. She want to build with you.
I don't know how to do this casual anymore. I just keep being wifey. This man could give no if I lived or died. But you like spaghetti? Canceled.
I think who a man follows is very telling of the type of man he is. And like, that's really the number one reason why I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. Like, I've been going back and forth on this, and I'm like, am I just hurting my own feelings and just looking for an excuse to not like someone, like, when I do that? But honestly, I think that looking through a guy's following is kind of like a sneak peek into like answers that you can't outright ask, right? You can't go on a few dates and be like, do you respect women? What's your stance? Like, you know, because what? Like, are you really going to get an honest response, you know? But if you go through their following, you can see a lot about them. And I've dated guys who don't follow any girls who they don't know, right? Like, maybe a few actresses, movie stars, like, whatever. And that's like, it is what it is. I don't care. But I have also, like, there was this one guy that I met, and I met him on Tinder, like, last year. He was one of the hottest guys I've ever seen to drop on the New Jersey dating scene, okay? Like, this guy was an 11 out of 10, just, like, physically there, like, model material. I was like, how is this? Why is this guy on Tinder? You know, like, he could, like, whatever. But then I'm like, why am I on Tinder? Right? Okay, maybe I found a diamond in the rough, until I went and I saw his following. It wasn't even just models or whatever. It was like straight up like a bunch of pages of just girls in bikinis standing on shaking plates. Like, no. And even worse, he was engaging with this, like, even worse, I had to see his name in bold font underneath these girls, like, reels or, like, videos of them bending over at a grocery store in, like, a little bikini. Like, I was like, no, actually, no, we can't do this.
The best looking man in New Jersey or whatever it is wants to be involved with you. The best looking man? I'm not saying that some of these modern women aren't cute. I'm just saying, who do y'all think that y'all are? Like, delusional. Out of all the women in the world, out of all the women he could be with, he's going to somehow get to me. And y'all call men delusional and having the audacity for punching out of their weight class, for trying to talk to a woman that's clearly out of their league, as y'all say. Delusional.
A lot of guys are socially awkward.
I think you're a bit ignorant to, like, the average guy's experience. Consider this, right? Most guys, the average guy today, his granddad had to put in a quarter of the work to get the kind of woman that is 4 times as amazing as the woman he's attracted.
Oh, you're talking
like
about
his grandmother was an amazing woman and a very, very feminine, natural woman, and his granddad really didn't have to do the kind of work he has to do right now as a young man in the Western world.
So you're talking about hoflation.
Yes, it's hoflation.
Hoflation. So modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were.
My name's Rachel. I'm a nurse, and I'm about to go inform my patient and his wife that his girlfriend is in the lobby here to see him. Welcome to Jackass.
Honestly, I'm not mad at that. Bring the camera along with you. We want to see all of the action.